Good evening, everyone. It is 5:30 and time to begin our regular scheduled meeting today, June 25th, 2026. I'll call this meeting to order. Roll call, Ms. Rhonda. Here.
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 Thank you. Being that it is summer, we won't have the student invocation because we don't have any students. They're having fun. But we will do the flag salute, so if everyone could stand. Thank you. I didn't assign, let me see, I started to my left. So to my right, vision statement. Ms. Crystal Barker, would you read the vision statement, please?
Vision statement. Our community, our schools, where your future begins.
And our mission, Mr. Newsom?
The North Little Rock School District will prepare all students for their future by offering a well-rounded, rigorous, relevant, and innovative education that allows each child to achieve their full potential in a safe, supportive learning environment to be future ready.
And our moral purpose, Ms. Temple?
As a community, our moral purpose is that all children will achieve high-quality teacher, have a high-quality leader, and a supportive learning environment. We will not allow an achievement gap in the North Little Rock School District.
Thank you. Are there any recognitions?
Yes, ma'am, there's one.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We do have one recognition for the board and our public, and I would like to recognize our communications team. So Mr. Barnes, Ms. Davis, and Mr. Tursky, if you could come forward. They didn't know what they're clapping for yet.
Because they're good at what they do.
Do you need me to take that photo?
Well, congratulations to the North Little Rock School District Communications Department on winning 2 publications and Digital Media Excellence Awards from the National School Public Relations Association, or also known as NSPRA. The district earned an award of merit for its 2024-2025 annual report, as well as an award of honorable mention for the Career Academy's course selection infographic. Entries are judged on overall excellence and quality compared to peers across the country for similar organization types and sizes. The North Little Rock School District Communications team consists of Mr. Dustin Barnes, our Communications Coordinator, Ms. Brooke Davis, our Graphics and Website Administrator, and Mr. Hayden Tursky, our Multimedia Facilitator. The team will be formally recognized at the NSPRA National Seminar later this summer. Founded in 1935, NSPRA provides school communication training and services to school leaders to more than 3,000 professionals worldwide. So we want to recognize them. These are actually really heavy awards. Yes. I hate to ask if somebody could take our picture because they're normally taking pictures. Oh.
Have you got your camera? No. All right, now you got to give it back. You got to give it back.
Awesome.
Are your parents here?
Thank you. I did forget to ask that question. We're down to public comments. We do have one. Per Arkansas Code 6-13-619 and according to Act 902 of 2025, citizens who desire to speak during public comment must sign in prior and will be called to the podium. Speakers must meet one of the following criteria according to Act 902 and listed on the sign-in sheet. reside within the school district, be a parent or legal guardian of a student in the district, or be employed by the district. Public comment is not a question and answer period, and as such, school board members and the superintendent do not respond to the public comments during a meeting, while we do encourage you to speak respectfully and professionally. Further, citizens will have no more than 3 minutes to speak and will not be allowed to make comments that shall prejudice the board of directors concerning students or personnel matters that could come before the board for disciplinary or employment considerations, or that is in conflict with other district policies or laws. Further, public comments that include slanderous remarks about school district employees or that would violate the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, are strictly prohibited. Personally identifiable information, discussion of student educational records, or reference to student directory information is not permitted during the public comment period. Speakers who violate these guidelines will receive a single warning and be respectfully asked to redirect their remarks. Should the speaker continue in violation, the board president will end the speaker's time and move on to the next individual. If the public comment goes beyond 30 minutes, the board may require all public comments that go beyond the 30 minutes and are not about matters that are on the meeting's action items agenda to be held after the other agenda items. So we have one. Notes up, and it is Lynetta Hughes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I've been debating on speaking in front of the board for a couple months, but I actually had a little bit of something that happened this week, and I just kind of wanted to bring it to you all. Earlier this week, I was in Costco, and I was approached by a Little Rock School District employee, and they asked me why are all of our employees coming to their district. I didn't answer. I just was like, these are things that just happened, but it's just something I definitely wanted to bring to the board's attention, because people are leaving for a lot of reasons. A lot of them are feeling undervalued, mistreated, or fear of retaliation. And, over the last 2 years, this board knows we've had a lot of changes. We had reconstruction, and we've also had a lot of positions that have been up for possible outsourcing and other things like that. These last 2 years have been crazy. And I'm hoping, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to speak this year, I'm hoping that as we move into the new year, we can actually start on a different note, that people don't have to worry about what's going to happen in the new year, that we can kind of come in and as you all said at the retreat, that we are growing together. I think that is really important as we move into the new school year. For me, it's not a good look for the district. I hate to be approached. I happen to have my shirt on, which is why someone stopped me, and she actually told me that she watches our board meeting, and she recognized me speaking at the board meeting, which is why she stopped me. But it's not a good look for our district. I love working here. I love working with my students, but I don't like to be approached like that out in the community, and some of you all may have that happen too. It's also not a good look when we have all these changes structurally in our buildings. The high school especially is going through a major change this year. But what I really want you all to know, it's not good for our students. When every year we have different people coming in, it really is hard for our students. And so we really need to think about that when we're doing some of these things. And I'm not speaking as an us versus them. I'm a part of the problem too. As I said, we're all a walking billboard. I know Ms. Barker said that we're all a walking billboard. So when we're out in the community, we have to do a better job of selling what we're doing at North Little Rock School District. It's for the betterment of our district. As I said, I love what I do. I feel supported by the people that supervise me. I have great relationship with my supervisor, with Ms. Roberson, as well as Dr. Stoll. And so I don't feel like I'm up here saying that it's bad for me. I'm speaking because there are a lot of people that don't feel like they feel supported in the district to be able to speak. And I know you have shared with CPPC that you would like things to be brought to the board. So I want to make sure that I came and said this at this time. it's really important that we look at our district culture, and also what resources we are offering employees. I'm hearing there are a lot of employees in our district that are stressed. And are we getting that information out so employees know what resources we have for them? I know most districts have EAP, but I think we gotta do, that was my time, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hughes.
All righty. The next item on our agenda is a legislative update, but there isn't one, so we're moving down to, I don't know if they meet during the summer, but you have CPPC and LPPC.
There is no LPPC report. Is there a CPPC report?
Good evening again. We met last month, and we've also met in June, but we don't have those minutes approved, so you will have that report from Ms. Jackson in July. As you all know, we meet the first Tuesday of the month. I would have said it next month, but Ms. Temple, we do appreciate you joining our meeting. Ms. Temple actually came to our meeting, had a chance to really sit and listen, so we invite all of you all to come out, or Zoom in, as we say, and hear what the conversation we have, and feel free to, provide feedback as she did when she came on. We approved our meeting minutes from April 7th. We discussed the upcoming vacancy. As you all know, we've been sharing that Ms. Lawson retired, and so we will be looking to fill that position hopefully in the next school year. We reviewed results of the classified staff budget savings survey that we all shared with you, and we gave you all a copy of that as well at the retreat. Some of the concerns, as you all know, were compensation, increased workloads, reduction in classified contract days, student safety, which are things we all have discussed. And while we know that's on the back burner, we just wanted to make sure that what CPPC, the concerns were put in front of the board. We all agree as on CPPC, the classified employee concerns should be communicated to the board, which we're hoping we're trying to do a better job of that this year. We also reviewed our meeting calendar for the 2026 to 2027 year, and we discussed we will continue doing it in Zoom. One of the things that we did talk about as well is hopefully doing a better job of outreaching to all new employees that are coming on that are classified, that we're able to connect with them as well. Also, we did discuss the two, the attendance policy and the workplace professionalism policy. We discussed them in May, but we did vote this past what you guys will hear next month, but we did discuss those things as well. I want to recognize Mr. Ginder because he did explain to us, because there was some questions about why there were separate policies, and that was clarified by Mr. Ginder in the meeting. Our committee also discussed the importance of fairness, consistency, transparency, and equity when implementing district policies. And our members said we will continue to review the policies as they are provided to us. And lastly, we just want the committee to know that we support any district efforts to establish clear expectations for attendance and professionalism. We don't want anybody to think that we are against policies and procedures. Our recommendations that we provided to the board at the retreat are just intended to strengthen the policies by providing greater clarity for employees, consistency, fairness, and opportunities for employee success while maintaining high standards of accountability. So I wanted to make sure that if any of you all had any questions, because we did provide the policies to you all at the board meeting, that if you had any questions, that we would be here to answer those. And that's our report.
Anybody to my left have a question? Anybody to my right have a question?
I have a question, but thanks for the scores. Those points that you all shared do make a lot of sense to the way in which the rubric was set up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All righty, moving right along. I love it. Informational items. The first one is fiscal year 27, that Cisco contract.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome, Mr. Ginder.
Good evening, board.
Good evening.
So a year ago, I came in literally, I think, the third or fourth day on the job to present the Cisco contract and said,
Hang on, Mr. Ginder. Could you just state your name and your position?
my name and position?
Yes, sir.
And make sure you're speaking into the mic.
Is that better?
Yes, sir.
Robert Ginder, Child Nutrition Director for the North Little Rock School District. A year ago, I sat before the board and asked to renew our contract with Cisco, and literally it was my third or fourth day on the job. This is annually required because of the dollar value that we spend with Cisco. This year, having a year here in North Little Rock, we're able to, we're asking for a renewal, and I'll go through this, but it's a little bit different than what came honestly a year ago. We've put a lot more effort into it, a lot more focus, and really trying to drive the program for the benefits of our students. So, do I hit this button?
Yeah,
There we go. So as I said, purpose is to enter into year 3. The contract was bid obviously before my arrival, and it has 5 renewals. We're entering into year 3 of that renewal process. But I also want to call attention that there's going to be a secondary PO that's over on the consent agenda. And I wanted to speak to that if there were any questions around it, because why are you asking for 2 POs with Cisco? We need 2 POs because one of them is tied back to the FDA grant. They had allocated some funds for non or minimally processed food items that the grant will pay for. So it's kind of excluded from my budget. But I did want to call that out there. If you go, okay, you already asked for permission for 1 PO, why are we doing another one? And that's the purpose of tonight's meeting. Back in April, we sat in my office kind of around the bullpen and looked over the bid. There were nearly 700 items on the bid. And as we went through there, we saw a lot of redundancy. We had 7 trash can liners, all for a 55-gallon trash can. We don't need 7 trash bags, we need 1. So what is the standard, what makes sense? And as we went through that list and we identified what is the standard for a chicken nugget, what is the standard for a glove, we were able to remove a lot of those duplicate items, and that's the 275 items that were removed. We're happy to announce that we've identified 59 new items that we want to try for next year for our students, and those would be included in, and there's 414 that are carrying forward. But by really simplifying the bid and reducing it down to really what we need to order, what we think to meet the needs of our students, it really translated into some real savings for our program. In the inflationary market that we're in, where you're seeing food costs that are 3 to 5% higher across the board, our bid came in at a 0.5 percentage point lower than were the prices that we were at last year. So I think that really goes to removing those 275 items that we didn't even hardly order last year, but Cisco knew where to put their emphasis, where to make a difference. In May, we sent this all off, and you're going, okay, we got nearly 500 items on the bid here. They were able to turn it around in about 3 weeks, and that's also because we were able to simplify that bid. So the bid came in. As I said, we saw a significant reduction in our pricing. We do anticipate, because of some of the other programs that we're doing, we're spending the same amount of money with Cisco, but also we saw a pretty good increase in meals this year in our breakfast program, and I want to see that continue and sustain. And so that's kind of where we are. As I talked about the FDA grant, it's on the consent agenda. It's separate, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention that there were 2 different POs that we're going to be presenting. And I think all in, I'll be asking for a renewal for year 3, and then also obviously that consent agenda item. Pretty straightforward, but I am open to any questions, comments, concerns.
Any questions to my right?
You answered mine. We have savings on the 275.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I'm just curious, just for my own, what, other than like, when you say trash cans, where you're buying 7 trash liners for 1 can, I don't,
Okay, so
or like other things on the 275 that.
So on the, for instance, on trash can liners,
Uh-huh.
we had black ones, you had white ones. You had some that were 1/2 mil thick, some that were 3 mils thick,
Gotcha.
some that, and so when we looked at all of it, what is the right liner that's the right weight that you can fill it full, make it to the trash can without having to use 3 bags at one time?
Yeah, not the skinny ones.
Exactly. And that went across the board. When we got into gloves, there are 4 different kinds of materials that gloves are made out of,
Okay.
vinyl to nitrate, and we said, okay, what makes sense? What's a good quality? What is the right fit and feel? And then take the other ones off.
Yeah.
And same thing for chicken nuggets. You go through, and I think we had 7 or 8 different chicken nuggets that are on there. No, this is a quality chicken nugget. This is the one I want. and take the others off, and that'll also allow Cisco to set up a shopping list for us, so we can't order the wrong one, so we don't inadvertently get the wrong product in, and it'll really just help us streamline our systems. So,
Okay.
but that, it was kind of mind-boggling. I was honestly scared at first. I'm like, okay, we're pulling a lot of stuff off. Are we okay? And I called it out to Cisco, not, don't panic that I removed a third of the items. The case count's going to be the same. We're still going to buy the same product, but we're really
Simplifying
consolidating
this,
it.
culling it down a little bit.
Yes,
more.
sir.
I like Dino Nuggets for the record too. Also,
Dino or the Razor Nuggets?
I'm with whatever.
Okay.
The 54 items, is that to give the kids like food variety and change the menus up a little bit and things
So-
like that?
One of the things that we did this year is we've transitioned to a net off invoice program, and that's with our USDA commodities. So commodity program gives us an entitlement. Historically, we've been getting a lot of what they call brown box, which are just traditional, straightforward commodities, green beans, vegetable oil, ground beef. But with net off invoice, you can move it into products that are value added. And in the case of hamburgers, I can buy a hamburger patty that's net off invoice. They look at the value of hamburger meat in it and discount that case. Well, that's a different hamburger than I've been buying before, so those are some of those items. And then it's also just new products. As we open up an Asian line, we're gonna need some new sauces, we're gonna need some new things to go along with that. So really expanding choices, offerings, and then also as we also look at the market and go for some cleaner food labels, go for some things that are minimally processed and, really try to enhance the health of our students.
Thank you. Appreciate you educating me on that. Thank you.
Yes,
very
sir.
I just appreciate your diligence.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody to my left have any questions?
Yes, I appreciate your effort that you put into, reducing the list of items on the list. What did you use to influence or to determine we should do a renewal versus doing a rebid, or what do we use to do that?
So when this contract was bid out several years ago, it was sent to 3 or 4 companies, and honestly, Cisco was the only one that responsive that has the capacity, because one of the big pieces with their contract, it's also the delivery to each location. Some other companies that can bid on it cannot deliver to each of our schools, or they can't do it at the frequency that we need. As I get into year 2 within North Little Rock, I'm going to also be looking at, is it time to rebid it as opposed to renew it? This year with so many moving parts in it, I was happy just to see the pricing come in the right direction, and I really feel confident that we got below market pricing. I think we got really competitive pricing right now with the reduction that we saw, but that is something that I'm looking into as we get closer to the end of that contract. What does a rebid look like as opposed to a renewal? We went ahead, moved forward with the rebid, with the timing, with everything that was going on, and the pricing came back that it just looked like that we're still in the market. I didn't feel like it was so far out of line that I needed to take it out on the market to basically issue a whole new bid at this time.
Do you have a scorecard, or do you have some type of KPIs that you use to?
We had one
evaluate.
when we awarded the contract. The renewal is very straightforward. So we're not really looking at anything else. We're just simply looking at the prices of the items that are on the bid as we send it to them. And then, I can honestly go out on the market and I can look and see what other vendors, what their list price is, and see, are we in line, as well as staying on top of the markets and see what kind of inflations are they talking about within the beef industry, what are they talking about within the dairy industry. So we're staying in tune with that as we go forward.
So, based mostly on price.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a way that we can measure cost, quality, participation, waste, vendor performance? Is that something that we've ever done, or?
So we measure, as far as for student participation, we track all of that. I've got data for every campus, what our food spend is, what's our student participation, how many are eating breakfast, eating lunch. We're tracking that down by the campus. We're tracking menu items when we roll something out, because it's one of the things that really adds to the gray hairs. The kids at Indian Hills love it, but the kids at Amboy don't. Well, do I keep it on the menu or do I not? And so there's some things like that we're tracking as far as individual items, but as far as from the vendor standpoint, what we really look at is fill rate. you know, when we place an order and I order this chicken nugget, were you able to supply it? And we honestly had a really good relationship with Cisco this year. We had very few outs. And the couple of times where it was really critical, they even got emergency trucks to us. So it really felt like a good partnership. And it wasn't just a vendor where I'm calling up and ordering, you know, a nameless commodity. They met us with what our need was. And so I feel that was a good relationship.
I heard you say that breakfasts increased
Yes, sir.
across the board or just?
Honestly, we saw an increase at all campuses. We really, I mean, and some campuses were, you know, 10 to 15%. Other campuses were 4 and 5%. But we saw an increase in breakfast across the board this year. One of the earliest things that I put in place were student ID badges, because in the morning when the kids come in off the bus, they kind of come in free range. They're not by Miss Johnson's class or Mr. Smith's class. They just come in. And unfortunately, our kindergartners don't always like to talk in the morning. Our first graders don't know their student ID or don't know their name. Or, you know, the story I always hear, the name that's, well, they call me Bebe, but Bebe is not the name that's in the computer system. This is Johnson. And so with getting the student IDs and getting those numbers, we were able to key those, and I think we got a far more accurate count, because if our breakfast participation increased at the rate that I'm seeing, my workers would have been telling me they were overworked. And I didn't hear that as near as often as I thought I would. I think we were continually serving these breakfasts. We weren't getting credit for them in the computer system. So by putting the integrity and putting these thresholds in place, now we're getting credit for all the meals that we're serving. And so yes, breakfast increased, because I can show statistically the number of breakfasts we served a year ago and what we served this year. And there was, you know, several tens of thousands of meals increased. But I'm not hearing from my staff that I overworked them at serving breakfast. So I'm like, were we serving these breakfasts before and not getting credit for it? Or is this truly organic growth? So I'm still asking questions there as I learn and really just keep diving into this program.
Okay. All right.
But you say one of the things was the name badge that you think played a major role in.
I really do,
Calculate.
because when that kid stands
It was
before
new this year. he
Right,
implemented
right.
it.
and they enter their number, we know right then. And it's quick and it's easy. And it takes that verbal identifier out of the equation. Now, we struggled with kids losing badges. We printed thousands of them and kept sending them out. But it helped us get through that transition period till we could learn the child. My cashiers are amazing people. They can tell you the name of every student in their building. They can, after about 3 or 4 weeks, they can tell you the PIN numbers for every kid. And I'm like, I can barely remember my own PIN number for my checking account. How do you keep track of 500 of them? They just learn it. But those ID badges really helped us in the beginning, and then our lines are faster. So then as kids come off the bus, oh wait, there's no line in the cafeteria. And so all these things build into eating breakfast.
So this year will be a good measuring tool.
Yes,
with
ma'am.
adding that badge, and then the year when we didn't have the badge. Okay, that's cute.
Any more questions to my left?
Yes, I would just like to say, it sounds like there is value added with Cisco. The delivery is very important, that they are delivering to all the different schools.
2 deliveries a week, and yes, ma'am. I mean, we just don't have the manpower. If we had to move the case count, I mean, I need to do a better job of tracking the actual number of boxes it is, but it's pallets at some of our campuses that we just go through. The sheer volume of food is just
Well,
mind-boggling.
Thank you for your leadership, because it looks like you're tracking a lot of things, and that's very important. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just have 2 quick.
Okay.
The first one, it is that time of year for hires.
Mm-hmm.
How is the turnover?
So we're going into next school year with 7 or 8 vacancies across the staff. On top of that, I have 4 floating positions, kind of substitutes, that would be on our payroll that we actively tried to fill all last year, never got them filled. So I still have those vacancies. And then I'm also trying to add some positions at our high school to get away from a self-service model where everything's in a cup and the kids just come up and grab it. So it's, Do you want fries with that? Do you want cheese on your hamburger? And try to get some more customer service in that field so that we can really let kids customize their meal. In my experience, when we add that customization piece, and you can make a taco that's exactly the way you want your taco, and you can make yours and you can choose lettuce or not, that's when we get real satisfaction in our meals. But it's going to take staffing to do that. And so that's one of the pieces that I'm also working on this summer. So short answer, we need 7 to be fully staffed to where our old model was. 11 gets us to where we have our subs so that we can handle some daily call-outs without being as dependent on G1. 15 also then lets me implement the service model where we get to more service and less take it or leave it.
Got it. Lastly, do you plan to have the fun competitions that we had this year, next year?
My wife loves flea marketing, and so there may or may not be some 3 or 4 foot wooden spoons, and she found some metal ones, and I'm having to barter with her which one is she keeping in decor and which ones do I get to take to the office. But we're going to continue to do that.
Awesome.
Our staff enjoyed it, and once again, if we're pushing food quality, we all win. That's right. So we got to celebrate it.
Just don't forget to include us again. 'Cause
I'll
we
send
like
you
to
the
eat
invites.
too.
I'll just let you know, hey, this month we're, especially with some of our new recipes, because when all 13 schools bring it in and you're sitting here looking at 13 servings, you can tell real quick who followed the recipe and who didn't, who was heavy-handed on a spice and who wasn't. And that's the experience that we need. That, you know, the meal that's served at Amboy needs to be the same that's served at Indian Hills, needs to be the same across the board. And that's the only way you can do it in a district this size is to have those competitions, bring it into a central point and see it.
Thank you.
Madam President, can I add one thing?
Yes.
I love what you just said, and that was some of the calls that I received. Would you put a close attention on the academy
Yes,
getting the
ma'am.
same meals that are being served?
I've got a solution there.
Okay.
We implemented at the late in the school year. We have some chefs that work with us. I'm actually moving their home to the academy so that as they sample recipes and figure out, you know, because as you make a recipe, you got to cook it yourself first.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times the food gets cooked, 2 or 3 people taste it, and it gets thrown away. Well, let's offer it to the academy and also get feedback. I can't do it at some of our other campuses because our sample's not going to be big enough. But a recipe for 25, when you cut it down into quarters, now I got 75 servings, more than enough at academy. So we're started that at the late in the school year, and I'm excited to roll that forward into this upcoming school year because I think it's going to bridge that concern and also help us just add that choice and variety at the academy that we just haven't been able to sustain
Right.
because the student count, which is a blessing that it's not as high as it could
Right.
be, but it's hard to offer all the choices that are at the academy compared to the high school.
Thank you.
But yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kinder.
I'll see y'all again when y'all vote.
Yep. We're down to 11.2, Northwest School District Dogtown Foundation update. Dr. Paluski?
Okay, come on up.
We have none other than Eddie Armstrong in the building.
It's a heavy-hitting team here. Well, welcome everyone from the Dogtown Foundation. Coach Rice, I'm going to just have you introduce yourself and then everybody here that's on the board or participation, and we'll kick it off from there so everybody knows who everybody is.
Well, thank you. I want to say thank you to the board for the opportunity to come and present and kind of report on what we've done, and thank the board for the last the 10 months that you've allowed us to get going. My name is Johnny Rice, and I was thinking back. I know Crystal can, because Crystal's younger than me. She's only about a year, so it's not about a whole lot. But my journey with North Little Rock School District started in like 1973 as a kindergarten student at Lynch Drive Elementary, and it went through to in 1991. I started my first year of service to the students of North Little Rock as a teacher and a coach at Ridge Road middle school in 1991. So they started thinking about it. Then after a 31-year career at doing all that, I mean, that's over 50 years of North Little Rock School District that has been just bred into me. I say bred into me because really my parents graduated from North Little Rock High School in 1952, I think it was. And my in-laws have graduated here, my wife, both my boys. And so I just want to thank y'all for the 10 months that you've given us. And man, it's been a fun ride. See, I've got my board here behind us, and the first one is our chairperson, Jacob Estes. He's out of town for work, but he's our president of our chairperson of our board, and then our co-chairperson is Miss Brandy Amberg, and vice chairperson is Chris Shelton. Our secretary is Eddie Armstrong. Our treasurer is Jason Colley. And board member Wes Balan, board member Anthony Johnson, and board member Angela Pearson West. I'm so sorry.
We got that A out of
I'm glad you got me. Thank you.
Oh, she does that to me.
She does it too? Good. I got you. I understand. Well, you see on our deal, we have a vacant spot, and that was we had Miss Hampton was on, and she was a school administrator. And you can see our board is very diverse, and our board is starting, if I say, whenever I was looking at people to form the board, I had a criteria that it'd be somebody that loves the city of North Little Rock, loves the North Little Rock School District, but they love the kid of North Little Rock. And these right here, man, it's unreal how they fit those three things. If you didn't have any of those three, if you had 2 out of 3, you wouldn't even being talked to, or wouldn't even been brought brought you in the fold at all. But you can see that each member is connected to the community in a different way, and they have different strengths, and they use those strengths as leverage for our foundation in the community. And and within 10 months, I can know that they're 100% locked into serving the student of the North Little Rock School District. You can see with people on the board, like Jacob's in construction, Brandy is in wraparound services, Chris is a banker, Eddie Armstrong is a former state rep. I can't list all the things he's got his hand in. Jason Colley is an accountant. Wes is our director of athletics. Anthony Johnson's a banker. Angela Pearson West. Person. I did it again. Slap me every
Person, like a noun. Person,
Yeah.
place, or thing.
It says person.
I know it does. She's a former school board member, and but each one of them bring a different, strength to our board, and I'll say it here in a minute. A main purpose or goal or whatever is, our board wants to meet the needs of the North Little Rock student. And I'm saying that we've got Miss Amber is in wraparound service. She can tell us what the needs are with it. Coach Balan's is director of athletics, but if any student activity that's going on, he can let us know what the needs are. And then we had an administrator that we'll fill that spot, and we had a school administrator that can let us know what the needs are of the students, because that is by far the very first and our purpose and what our main goal is on doing it. If you go to the next one, you see our mission, our vision statements to serve as a catalyst for a standard-setting future where every student has the tools to succeed, with our mission statement supporting our schools and securing the success of all students through initiative programs and resources. You can tell that right there was not written by a coach, because it's way over my head, but we had a lot of help and we collaborated a lot on that, because we think that's important. That's important. Our next slide is kind of an overview of our goals that we have, and it's very broad. We have a very big vision of what we want to do and what we want to accomplish and how we want to serve the student of North Little Rock. Our first one being promoting and supporting extracurricular programs like sports or clubs, any student activity, but any student activity that has a high level of appeal and interest to students. And you see it's in from grades pre-K to 12th grade, to promote facility enhancements from pre-K to 12. Promote and support students and families by addressing academic and non-academic needs and other barriers that hinder success as students and families and their basic needs from pre-K to 12. Promote and support extended day and extended year programs to help students succeed pre-K through 12. Promote and support community engagement activities. Recognize and support and reward excellence. Promote and support financial aid for students pre-K through 12. Promote and support every student being future ready in pre-K through 12. Now, I'm a deacon at my church at Northview Missionary Baptist Church. I teach the Sunday school class, and I've learned that in the Bible, if something's repeated over and over, they're telling me that's important. That's right. So if you notice, the pre-K through 12 was said like 6 times in those 8 goals, because I think that's what sets us apart from other foundations in there. Other foundations are great. I've got great support from foundations as a student athlete, as a student, and even as an employee. But our vision is pre-K through 12. We want to establish and promote and support student programs that's going to help increase enrollment, and it's going to retain enrollment. That's the number one thing. And when I met with Dr. P about the whole vision of everything was based on us increasing enrollment. But I know for every kid that's here, it's just so many dollars that are with that. And I know our loss in enrollment has been a big hit to us financially. But it is. We want to promote and support those programs that are interesting to students. It's going to draw them in, but it's also going to keep the ones that are here, and not to go off to go somewhere else. And but we really want, and I'll say it again, is we want to meet the needs of the North Little Rock School District student from pre-K all the way through graduation. And so I said that, like I said, that we said that 5 or 6 times, but that sets us apart from the other groups that are around. Not saying anything about those groups. Those groups are great, and they have a great purpose, and they've done great things. But that's what separates us from another. We've had that question asked to us probably a lot of times. And I'm sure y'all have, too. Someone's asked y'all the same exact thing. And so that really sets us different. So in organizing and doing it, we was looking to try to ways to raise financial support, and our revenue streams that we were looking at. Our first one was, we're going to take over the elementary youth athletic programs. We say take them over. We're just going to have them run through us, and it can be a little revenue generator, but it's something that it's not a AAA sanctioned deal, and it takes that off the athletic department's plate. And it gives, they've got plenty to do already. And so by helping that, and so at the start of this coming school year, we've already got volleyball, basketball, we had baseball this past year, and we're adding football for elementary, and that's going to run through the foundation. It's already, Coach Balon's done a great job in getting all that started, and it's really, we're just going to get in and just have it run through us and try to take something off their plate a little bit. We are really want to we're going to get an alumni association started, and one way to raise revenue through that is through memberships to that. We have an alumni that I know went through school with Eddie, a young man named Donald Keels, that is, tell me his title again, Eddie, because I mess it up all the time.
Serves on the national board of the University of Arkansas's Alumni Association.
So it's a North Little Rock alum that is very versed in this, and so I've had many conversations, and I'm continuing to have conversations on, and he is advising us the best way to launch it. That's the best way that we can get the most support, and we can that everything gets off to a good. So with that, we are going to have, members to our foundation in a way, and how that is, we don't know exactly yet, but we will be launching that. And but one of the big ways of revenue is corporate partnerships, and that is every school district needs that. Every school district has that in some form. Some are better than some others. I know I have seen a lot of private schools that the corporate partnerships a lot bigger, and but there's a way, and I have learned through going and I've job shadows other foundations in Northwest Arkansas and other places, and every one of them let me know that these corporations, their marketing budgets is way higher than their philanthropy bucket to be able just to give to something. And so we want to partner them and be able to give them, if it's an advertising or something like that, something in that way. And but also, if they want to get a tax break and do all that, we can do all that. But corporate partnership is going to be a huge way of our revenue streams. We're going to look into grants in all areas. I've met with two or three different individuals that want to volunteer their time to look into grants and even write grants. And I know and in talking to them, they would say like 10%. You have about a 10% success rate in a grant. Well, if we write 10, we get one. One's better than none. That's some of that coach math that I just do at y'all. But that's a big way that we're going to is that way. Community events. We're looking at having a 5K, to banquets, to helping with the Night of Honors, and being a way that we could be a sponsor of that. If we say to take it over, but we could be the support raise group for that, and to do that. So that's one of the deals. And then there's just donors, and we have alumni that are very well off financially, have done very, very successul, and so we've come up with a list of alumni that own businesses and just other alumni that we'll approach, and we're looking at the correct way to do that, so that they're leaving a legacy, and see what they want to give to, and what's interest they have to do that. And so those are the ways that we really look at. Like I said, we've got many that are city leaders to very well off financially alumni that can really help support our what we want to get done. And as you say, well, what have y'all been doing since September? That's our milestones there. We kind of got established. We established the board in September, held our first meeting in October of 25, this past October, and where we formed formed our executive committee, and we kind of organized our roles and our committee roles, stuff like that. And in November, we started doing all the paperwork to get the nonprofit status. That's a task, is all I'm gonna say. Yeah, there's a lot to that. Exactly. So we did all that around November. We did to end of November, early December. We filed our paperwork. The state comes back really quick. Federal takes a long time, a lot longer than we anticipated. But then we end up finding out it maybe wasn't as long as some other had trouble doing that. But we filed that in December, January, especially the federal. We had the IRS sent us a letter. We needed to change some stuff and add some stuff. They did that in January, February, and we got them what they needed. And then in May, we received our 501c3 status. And seemed like a long time. I think some things that happened that were out of our control with the government shutdown that really leveled some things off that we couldn't then. We'd heard sometimes it takes 18 months to get that. We'd hear and say, well, you can get it in a month. Well, that wasn't true. And so, but we got that. We got that then there. So, what have we done besides a lot of planning? And, we met with coaches and different sponsors from their activity sponsors to see what are they doing fundraising, what do they need, what are their budgets that they have that they need. We met with business leaders in the city, and we met with city officials. We had a couple of meetings with the mayor and aldermen. We've met with all of them on a way that we can really serve the students the best way. But also during that time, me personally, and thinking that I worked with Coach Milan and the athletic department and all the coaches in organizing fundraising for them, for their programs, each individual programs. It was through the texting program, and I helped sell advertising on different venues. And during that time, we raised about $100,000 in that time for each program through the texting format or selling advertising and doing all that. And then in the spring, I was able to sell a few game sponsors and stuff like that. That money that has gone just into the foundation. So we do have a little bit from that, but that was kind of our milestones of but now we've got our advertising packages and everything is going, and now we're on go and fixing to blast off. Also in May we did launch a lot of help from the communication department. They were awesome that we were able to launch our website and launch our social media pages. I'm sure some of y'all have seen that, and it was really, you can say, professionally done. Those people are professionals. It looks really, really good, and we're already getting a little feedback on that for sure. So that was really good. That we started that in early May. I think we started that. We are at some initiative, and like I've said before, our main one is to meet the needs of the enrolled North Little Rock School District student from pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And I got something that they hadn't even heard, but an initiative that I want to launch. And we have our board meeting Monday, and we'll talk about it more. But it's this initiative called Cat Strong. We see some of the biggest needs we have in talking with Dr. P. and Mr. Taylor visited one of our board meetings. We asked him what were some of the needs, and it was from after-school programs to mentoring to extended year services to food for students in all those areas. And so our Cat Strong initiative will be after school, summer school, so any student enrichment, mentoring support, pregame meals for any extracurricular activity, but any food availability in the basic needs for the North Little Rock School District family and community members. Like I said, but we said we want to get, and I always said the first goal is to meet the need. I really want to strive to get to where we're able to supply the wants of the North Little Rock student, because there's a difference, the needs and the wants. Mm-hmm. And as a coach, there was things I had to have to run my program. Those are the needs, but there was those things those kids want that are attractive to them. Like, it could be in the classroom, it could be some piece of technology. To an athletic team, it could be a pair of shoes, to gear, anything like that. And so we want to meet the needs first. We want to get to where we're hitting their wants, because when we get to where we're hitting their wants, there's where we're going to for sure keep the kids we got, but we're going to attract kids. We're going to attract kids in, and like the bottom of this slide here, our ultimate goal is to really to offset the operational cost of extended year summer school services or student activities, athletic department budgets. So say those budgets are $750,000 for both of those combined. Our ultimate goal is to be able to offset that, where we can supply that to where that $750,000 that you're saving from operational budgets in those can go to teacher raises, can go to teacher salaries, can go to other things like under that. That's our ultimate goal, and it'll take time to get there, but these guys keep me more fired up about it, because we really have a vision that we can accomplish that right there. So now, if there's any question for me, or I would love for you to ask one of them. So. But yeah, any questions?
Mr. Taylor, you have any questions?
No, not at this time.
Ms. Milan?
I see a whole group of go-getters out there.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with this board, really. And thank you very much I know this has taken a lot of work to get to this point, and I thank each and every one of you.
Ms. Temple, any questions? Mr.
I would like to agree that that is a big effort that you've done, and it is appreciated, but it's going to be more appreciated down the road. And I agree with you. If you want somebody to fire you up, Miss Person will certainly do that.
It's Miss Person, not Miss Pearson.
It's not Miss Pearson.
I don't know who
Miss
Miss
Person.
Pearson is.
I know
I
who.
don't know her.
I know who Miss Person is. So.
I just, is it my, I want to say thank you. Like you said, when he came down the aisle, all I could hear was we're playing basketball. It took me back to Northeast when, I don't know if Coach Rice ever told you he was known as the fireman. Every time he let the ball go, it was a three-pointer before they claimed three-pointers. So I just have to say that. And, I was, of course, in the stands cheering him on. But I just want to say thank you. I echo the same thing of the go-getters. And as a citizen, we've been waiting on this. Our city needs this. And I'm just so excited. I've written down 1,000 notes on what I'm going to share with you all, some support resources that I know.
Do.
Now, Catch Strong, is that just something you said that's out there?
No, that's just, I just named it. I saw a group from a college.
Okay.
It was like a group from Harding, and they have a initiative to raise money it was really just for their athletes, and it was called Bison Strong. And it was
Catch
and he
Strong.
went through, so I go, and ours is more than just, football like theirs ours. So Cat Strong, it could be for anything. That's just a case. It's not been voted on or locked in yet.
It just sounds good. And when you were saying I love acronyms, and I came up with cultivating all students through service.
Yeah.
So your cats, it just jumped when you said that. I was like, wow. That's why I was making sure it wasn't somebody.
I was going to tell you that's what it stood for, but he didn't get that.
So, I mean, when I'm listening to you, I just got excited because my level of service is 100. So I will definitely be looking for meetings, and I have some good ideas that I think.
We meet the last Monday of every month.
Okay.
So everybody's welcome.
I'm just excited.
I was just
Where do
saying,
you
you
meet?
meet Monday, right?
You just coming Monday.
I'm excited.
Where do you
6
meet?
o'clock. 6 o'clock in the auxiliary. In the hospitality room in the arena.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love Dogtown. You didn't make it Chargers or Wildcats. Get off
We
on
just
them.
did it. That's right.
But I love the alumni approach because I know many of our alumni have been asking about different things.
Yes.
So I think
That's
you're
a
on the
big.
right
That's
track.
and that's a big task, but you got to start somewhere. And then, but I think that could be a huge.
Yeah. You made
benefit to the
classmates
district.
captains of that year.
Well, I'm having my 40th next month.
I saw
So
that.
you got your 39th, so. But so now see them all. That's what I'm saying. And I know when Old Main's finished, and that would be a great place to have every reunion every year. Have a reunion in that, and and it'd be so there could be some great things. But it's a big task, but it's something that's going to be very beneficial to the district, I think, for sure. Yes.
I just have one. What's your process for when you have great ideas like, Ms. Barker has? What is the process to tell the public, the community? Somebody may be sitting at home and have this wonderful idea. What is the process to let you know?
We have our website that is up and our social media pages. Right now that is it. And I met with. Got my email and phone. I did put my phone number on it. I was kind of scared to do that, but we did it. Brandy, I'll give Brandy credit. She did the PowerPoint. Coach couldn't do it. And we talked about it. She goes, "You want to put your phone number?" I go, "Yeah, let's put it up there. That's fine." So we that way, and but on our website, I know it's got every board member's name on there and the email. I'm pretty sure. On there, so it's a way to do that. But and as I've met with Dustin, and we kind of put a calendar out of what he's going to put out. Like he's put a board member spotlight one different every week, And but I'm gonna get on just to announce certain things here and there. So right now I know our North Rock TV, it's not near as big now as it used to be. 'Cause I remember it was.
We're gonna work on that.
Yes, but so that's the way we can promote this, use this, get information out on that, and but that's ways to do that also.
Awesome. I just love the energy. Love the energy.
Clearly see it.
Yeah, they keep me fired up. They're good. I'm excited about working with them.
Thank you.
One thing I want to add, Coach. I just want to thank you. I want to thank all of you that are on the board. I echo what Dr. Redda said. When you all came up here and just listening to your background and how much you care about North Little Rock comes through. And you can see how fast you've all gelled together. It's amazing how much you've done, even though you had some barriers this year with the government shutdown and so forth and so on. Thank you all for your dedication. And I do want to say that I am advocating that we extend Coach Rice in this role for just one more year, primarily because of the delay that they've had with the federal government, and then gives them an opportunity to start the school year being able to raise, which is in a consent agenda item. So I just want to thank you, all of you, for your dedication, and we so much appreciate what you're doing. Bright future ahead, North Little Rock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who let the dog out?
That's right.
Dogs chasing cats.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We're down to 11.3, the new middle school interior, the colors, exterior options.
I think they're nice.
Whatever the lady said.
Welcome. I guess, Dr. Smith, I guess we'll start with you, and you can introduce everybody.
Can you close the back door, please?
Coach.
Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Paluski, Madam President, members of the board. Come here tonight very excited. I am Jacob Smith. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of School Improvement for Network B, which includes our new middle school construction, and that is kind of the topics tonight. I'm joined up here by a multitude of individuals, and I'll just let them go down the line.
Sure. I'm James Meyer with Taggart Architects.
I'm Michael Clark, 7th grade Director of Teaching and Learning.
Chris Marshall, Executive Director of Middle School Improvement.
Alrighty, so purpose of this evening, we have some interior and exterior options to show where it's not a very wordy presentation, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. And so we come here so the North Little Rock School Board of Education can review our interior and exterior options. We took what the board communicated in our last presentation, went, collaborated, worked it through the process. We've had all the individuals present at the table, eventually brought it to Dr. P so that we could bring it to you guys and get hopefully what we consider a blessing on moving forward on some of these things. And so we're going to start with our interior options. And so one of the points of contention last time was the atrium, specifically with the bright colored rainbows and things of that nature. And so I think we've scaled some of that back and taken kind of a different approach. But one of the things was a wildcat that was at the forefront. And you can see the first option from different angles. And then we kind of changed up the wildcat area, but kept kind of some of the theme the same. This, I had Mr. Myers, and he's going to jump in after this, I'm sure, but
You're doing so good.
I appreciate that. The colors, the color palette here is more of a gray in real life, and so it's one of those things that I wanted the board to be able to see that. It's not quite that taupe, but we've got some contrasts and some samples here that we can show if you guys would like to see that at some point. But you can see that for the difference between option 1 and option 2. Mr. Myers, is there anything you would like to add in regards to any of that?
No, I think you're doing great. So in general, everything Jacob said, maybe this is my opportunity to give your team kudos. It's been great working with Jacob and Mr. Clark and Ms. Marshall to go through these schools and really get their opinion about what they want, how it works, what's our school pride. And so we've really enjoyed the conversation. I think it shows in the product that we're able to talk about tonight.
Okay, and then we go to the exterior. So we kind of had that multicolor theme. The original aspect is kind of tying in all of the different school colors that were associated with the elementaries and bringing those not only within the building but on the exterior of the building. And so if the board will take notice, what are these called?
They're called louvers.
Louvers. The louvers are still of the multicolor, and we thought we'd have that as an option to show you, but you can see the multicolor option where it sprinkles in those different color dynamics and those fins.
I can get you to go back 2 slides real quick.
Sure.
All right. So just clarity on these things. So what we're talking about are those vertical dashes of color. It's a sunshade that knocks down low angle sun. So it's kind of going back forever ago with Mrs. McLean and talking about how we keep glare out of our buildings. And so what we had around 3/4 of the building was just our blue colors. And then within the interior courtyards, we showed the 4 colors that we have throughout the building to begin with. And so Jacob's kind of gone through a couple of those. And then the second option we'll have is where I believe, again, Mrs. McLean in our last meeting said, why would we do anything other than blue and gold? We have the best colors in the world. So option 2 is just blue and gold.
Absolutely. And so can you kind of describe how we arrived on the 2 blues and the gold?
Sure, absolutely. So part of the challenge with building materials in the commercial environment is you only get so many options, right? When you go to the car dealership and you get a blue car, you don't really get to pick what blue it is. You get to pick out of the blues that the dealer has on the lot. And so a lot of these finished materials are the same. And so when we can't get things that are perfect, we don't want to use one non-perfect thing. We're going to use 2 so it feels varied and so that it kind of fits in. So we don't have 17 different blues trying to be North Little Rock blue. We're going to have the one that's right, and then we're going to have a dappling from that. And so that's kind of how we've approached the materials on this.
If you'll notice, too, on this back side, which I thought was interesting, those same blues are sprinkled already.
Yes.
And so that is in both options, but you can see, and the contrast was from the description of just not using the blue and the gold as it becomes.
So if we put everything as our very dark blue that we have, it's going to make the whole building feel dark. And so that's where we have some of those lighter colors. That's where the light blue comes in. That's where the pure gold comes in. And so that'll help it not feel really overbearing.
Mr. Miles, I got tickled. I
Yes,
thought
ma'am.
you were blending Northeast powder blue. and the old
That's
main
exactly
blue with
what
the
I
gold.
said, right? I need to borrow from my friend.
That's what I thought you were doing, but okay.
So with that being said, I mean, that's our very brief, very general conversation, but I figured the meat of this would be questions, concerns, comments, things of that nature, for either myself or hopefully, as Mr. Ginder said, Mr. Myers.
Yeah, and so I might just say one more thing in close. So in our meetings with your middle school staff, with Jacob, with Dr. P, we thought there were some kind of clear recommendations that came out of that group that we would love to bring to the board and get approved so I can get the contractors off my back and start ordering things. And so if you want to go back to the gray Wildcat option, so for one more, the other one, that one. Is that correct? Okay. And so when we met as a group, we went through a whole lot of options. We're going to save you the time. We're going to talk about the 2 best ones. But the group's recommendation was to do this gray Wildcat with the blue in the floor. And then if we want to go all the way to those last couple slides.
Do you have those material? I think
I do, and I'll be happy to show those and hand those around.
Yeah, I'll just, if you could put them in front of you, I think,
Yeah,
right,
here,
so
look,
they
I'll go
can
grab the ones that are
visually
appropriate,
see.
because I got way more than
Me too.
Because this almost looks more like a taupe, like I said. It really is a gray whenever you see it.
And it all depends on your screen, right? That one there, it looks the correct gray. Other places, it doesn't necessarily. And so what I will tell you, and I can carry this around if I need to. This gray is the predominant gray that's in the school. It's a true neutral, and like we're under weird light, so it might look green to you, and it might look yellow to you, but this is gray. And then this is the color of the blue that we're putting for the wildcat in the floor, because we can't get something perfect, so we're going to get something that tells you it's blue, and that's it. And then this is the lighter color gray that the triangle that the wildcat's on. Woo. Who wants to sit on a box?
Crystal, since you, Ms. Barker, I'm sorry, since you started, did you have any questions?
Looks nice to me. Either one of them look good to me.
Mr. Newsom?
But I
Yeah.
like the vision.
Do have one question about as far as maintaining.
Yes, sir.
That the cleanliness and maintenance, is there one that it would work better for that to make it?
No, sir. We're very happy with how this project's bid out, and so we have full rubber flooring, and so that doesn't mean much to someone outside of either maintenance and operations or out of construction, but this is the closest bulletproof floor you can get for a school. LVT wears out in 5 to 7 years. Carpet wears out probably about 12 to 15 years. Concrete is very hard and expensive to get look right, and then as soon as somebody drops something they're not supposed to, it's torn up.
Sure.
And so these colors, the maintenance for them, the chemicals you use on it are all the same everywhere. And so that it keeps it really simple for our guys working out there to just keep the school clean.
Yeah.
They don't have to switch a bunch of
It's
stuff
kind of a
around.
practical question, I know. And nerd question here.
Yeah.
How you gonna put that wildcat in there? Is it gonna be like a laser cut, or how's that gonna work?
So there's a couple ways to do it. This one, they're probably going to have it laser cut. You can also do it where there's guys out there who do it by hand, and they bring an extra tile, and they will overlap it, and they will score it, and then they'll go break it, and then they'll slot it in. It's cool stuff. But this, I assume, is all going to be either a laser or a CNC cut.
All right, just curious.
Yeah.
When I saw the picture on my computer, I thought it looked very washed out. But seeing that color, I'm
Good.
happy.
I'm so glad.
I mean, I think I would have liked a darker blue, but
We
if you
got
say
a
there's
really
not
dark blue
a,
wall right next to
I
it.
see that. I see that. So that'll pick up.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and I don't know if the darker, if there was a darker blue, or if the darker blue wasn't a good dark blue either. So
There is a darker blue, and we're going to go off on a tangent. There are darker blues that look better in other places in the building. And so this is one of the blues that's back in the corridors, back by the student classroom wings. And then this was the lighter blue that we looked at and said, this one's better. And so this one stays in my box.
okay, thanks.
Cool. Thank you, ma'am.
What about the charging wildcat, right? See the little charge
Oh, I
thing
see.
on the wildcat?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what about on the outside, the fins?
Yes, sir.
What's the life cycle? What's the upkeep and maintenance of those, with especially the different colors? What can we expect to be
So
looking at?
the way those work, those are aluminum tubes. And so to make them, the finish on those last as long as possible, we're having them powder coated within the factory. And so it's not something a guy on the job site is going to paint. Those are done by the manufacturer. Because of that, it conveys a 20-year warranty on the powder coating, color, and finish. So if it chalks, if it oxidizes, if it wears early, we get to send it back to them and make them fix it.
Are there a different color on one of those? That looks different than
There are two blues
two blues, okay.
and one yellow, because we only use one yellow ever. I think this whole board agrees with that.
Okay. All right. What about is that gray? That's
The base.
So
The base.
the wall panels in between them,
yes.
those are an aluminum color.
That's okay. And all the options have that same aluminum color?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's the life cycle on that?
It's aluminum. It'll be here way after all of us are gone.
Okay. All right. That's all my questions.
We had some multicolors put on the high school that nobody liked. And so I'm just wondering about multicolors, or if we should go with just
I would tell you,
one
I think
color.
this is very different than what we have at the high school. The ones that are at the high school are so similar to each other, it looks like one of them has failed and become the other. And so there is greater contrast between these colors, and it harkens to our history in the district. So I think it's appropriate, and I do think it will be a much more successful installation.
Will there be any light? I know there's lighting at night. Will any of that be lit up? I mean, I don't know where the lights are going to be, or do you have that figured out yet? Or
We do
will
have
it
lighting
be on
figured
these
out.
fins and they'll show up?
Exterior.
So we have exterior lighting. I don't recall off the top of my head well enough to tell you how this is lit. But like how you see the bridges lit, or how like the event center lit, whereas these very accent kind of glowing color lights, they're expensive and they break really fast. And so what we would typically recommend for situations like this is we want to highlight the wall and not the colored elements. And so we would have interior lighting around the courtyard that helps that courtyard glow, but that's about it. We're not going to do anything crazy with color changing, because it'll cost you 3 arms and a leg, and we'll have to fix it in 2 years.
And you still think there need to be multicolors
Yes,
in
ma'am.
the interior? I mean, the exterior, but the interior of the exterior?
Interior of the exterior. Are we talking about the outdoor classroom that's on the left-hand side of
I
this
don't know. I
image?
thought you said we would have the multicolor on the inside. The fins would be multicolored.
That's
No,
an
ma'am.
option.
So can you go back
thought
2
it
slides, 3 slides? This was one of the final 2 options that we looked at. This is how it was originally shown. And then based on the feedback we received here, talking with the middle school staff and everything else, we went to the blue and gold only option. So the greens and the purple were dropped here.
Okay.
Does that help?
Good. Yes.
Great.
Any other questions?
I'd like to ask Ms. Marshall, what did you like as the leader? What's your
On
favorite?
this, I like the blue and the gold, and I understand the two-tone on the blue. And I will tell you, I fought very hard to get the Wildcat in blue on the floor. I'm like, years from now, I want people to know Ms. Marshall stood up and got us a blue Wildcat. 'Cause it
And
wasn't
Mr.
blue.
Clark was right behind you, wasn't he?
Yes.
And now I have 13 different blue samples at my office, so if anyone needs a coaster in blue, please let me know.
Well, well, well. You know, I started at the beginning
Yes,
with
ma'am.
all the multicolors and
The Rainbow
everybody
Road?
knew the rainbow coming in. When I saw this, I didn't think about the fading and the color. I was just excited.
I know, I was watching your face.
I was like, wow. I was just excited that we have the cat instead of all the multicolors coming in. So I am excited. I'm ready. We're on go. I'm on go. And I do have one question. Y'all weren't here when I asked, and maybe you would know. At the middle school, when you're walking out the main door going to the gym, there are bricks that people have purchased with their year that their child graduated from there. Two-part question. One, what's going to happen to them in the construction? Second, if we're going to keep them some kind of way, how can others begin to purchase them?
Sure. So the first question, the answer is, I do not know if there's a specific plan in place on how to save them, but they absolutely can and ought to be saved, and we can work with NABHOLS to figure out that plan.
Sure.
And so the next portion of that is, what do we do with them? We have a lot of opportunities, either within one of the facilities, specifically like the multipurpose building, which is what we are hoping to restore competition back to the middle school campus. So whether it could be integrated into a display or an exhibit there, or if it becomes one of the courtyard improvements that come in and kind of finish the space after all the construction's done. So phase one, we took the theater building down. We're building the new 7th and 8th grade. After that, we were going to take down the current 7th and 8th grade building, and we'll build in phase 2 the 6th grade building as well as the multi-purpose building. And once that's done, we have a whole lot of cleanup around this campus because we got to take down 6th grade building. We got to restore that whole area into a green space and into a bus loop. So we have opportunities in between either the courtyard between these buildings, over by that bus loop within the multi-purpose building. So what I probably would like to do is have my team go do a survey of how many bricks do we have, what condition are they in, and come to you guys with some recommendations about how to integrate that.
Absolutely.
That would be good. Just a thought, just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
No, I love it.
If you've ever gone to Glenview,
Mhm.
they have bricks in the middle of Glenview Boulevard
Yes, ma'am.
that neighbors have purchased, and it's like a wall. It's like
Memory wall.
yes. Just a suggestion. Maybe that could be in the middle of the courtyard somewhere or something.
Yes.
But it's just that I know that there's, people purchase those bricks and they're there, and that was a question asked. Well, when the construction starts in this section, what's going to happen to little Johnny's brick?
Oh, yeah.
We can come up with 2 or 3 options that we'll work with Taggart and the administration and say, here's 3 things on how we're going to repurpose.
Thank you for bringing it up.
It's a good idea.
But other than that, I'm excited.
So for our clarity,
Yep, I was just going to go there too, Mr. Smith.
the board is good with interior option 2, which is what we decided on as the administration working with Taggart, Dr. Paluski.
Recommendation.
Yeah, the
That's
recommendation.
that right there.
Yes, ma'am. And exterior option 2.
That,
Those are the 2 we picked. And
that gives us Old Main and Northeast colors, yes.
okay. So
That's awesome.
Okay.
Taggart Architects will go forth with communicating, and we're going to start ordering. So,
We will order everything tomorrow because they've been yelling at me.
correct. So
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you all.
much. We're
Appreciate it.
excited.
Congratulations.
Exciting times ahead.
I think I'm at the.
Alrighty, we are down to 11.4. Are there any construction updates?
We just a few. Colonel's on vacation, but Mr. Brown's just going to provide just a 2-second update. I'll take the middle school. I mean, I was over there today. It's just amazing to watch that building go up so fast. So they're ahead of schedule, on time. So I think the big thing, and Mr. Brown's going to talk about that, is Old Main, and especially what's happening on Saturday.
Yes. So on Saturday, we are having the public sale of the loose contents in Old Main. That will be beginning at 8 a.m. It will conclude by noon. So we'll open the building for members of the public to come in and to see if there are items they're interested in taking with them for a donation to the school. And we're going to have some limitations on some things that we cannot sell. We were looking at things that are affixed, that are part of the infrastructure, like bell systems, clocks that are built into the building, anything that is structurally part of the building we will not be selling. And the reason for that mainly is for safety reasons. The more you dig into like a locker that's built into a wall, the more you're going to disturb asbestos. And of course, we'll have an abatement of that property. They're going to start that actually in the ceiling portion after the sale. So we don't want people digging around, but things that are in the building that are not part of that are not fixtures of the building, we will definitely let go. And we're planning for that on Saturday, and we've been posting that in the media, social media, email. We've been getting that out as best we can, and we've had a lot of responses already from members of the community that have been contacting us. So just a point there, there is, and we've made this clear out in the media, there is no air conditioning, there is no running water, there are no handicap lifts, and there are no elevators. So with that being, we wanted that known to the public so they'll know, don't expect air conditioning, don't expect elevators, don't expect wheelchair lifts. All of those, the elevator and lifts are mechanically turned off. Those have to be inspected on a regular basis. That building has not been used, and we don't want people in those or stranded. So they're off. And so anyway, with those limitations, we're conducting the sale, and members of the public are welcome to come in.
So that frees us of liabilities, correct?
So we're immune.
Because it's the
from,
stairs, right? I remember those wooden stairs in Old Main that people would go up.
There are stairs in Old Main. There are, of course, entry stairs to get into the building, but there's also stairs to navigate the floors.
Right.
And so, yes.
I just remember how they were made, that wood,
right.
slippery like. Okay.
Right. But it is school district property. We do have tort immunity. So, so there's no worries there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we just have some limitations we're working through, but we've made that known. We've had a good response. We've already had people contacting us, and a lot of people excited. We even had some people say, "Well, if you really wanted to make money, charge admission just to walk through the building." But we're not charging admission; they can come walk through.
Ms. Barker, did you have any more questions?
Did we ever find any of the awards? Remember I asked about the
We have
Northeast
found
Award?
two additional awards that were over there. They were from the 1990s. They were a conference championship plaque. We've located those and put them in the office
But that's
area.
all Old Main. Any Northeast information?
Well,
I know they brought it all over when they combined. Okay.
Yes, and
Just
and
need-
there
alright.
and a lot of Northeast awards are. We do know where they're located and stored. They're not in Old Main, but
They're in the arena.
They're in the arena.
Okay. Okay.
But we did find some additional items that were,
I'll come
you
with
know,
it.
yeah.
I'll come with it. Okay. No, I
just want a statement. I ran by and I didn't go into the construction site at the middle school, but it looks really good. As I just kind of, eyed there. I will go take a look at it when I have a chance. I noticed that the process has started for the abatement over there on the police and courts building, it looks like, as well.
Yes. And one thing I'll point out, if you are not aware, or if members of the public are not aware, we do have an active live camera that's available. It has a public interface. So it's in the middle school construction column. I don't know if we're able to scroll down, but click on that. But this gives you a live picture, live feed of active construction that's happening on the campus, people in the community. It's on our website. It's public facing, so anyone can access that link and view what's going on there.
It's not a beach camp, but it's still pretty cool.
Yes, that's right.
And Mr. Brown, it was down yesterday when we were dealing with Wi-Fi issues.
There was a statewide outage with Windstream. A subcontractor cut some fiber, so there was statewide. It was
they
down.
Didn't call the one call and.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They dug without calling 811. So.
Oops.
We teach that in kindergarten.
Ms. Temple?
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
We are down to action items. We have the first one, 12.1, fiscal year 27 Cisco contract.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we accept the fiscal year 27 Cisco contract as presented.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I second.
It has been properly moved in second that we approve the fiscal year 27 Cisco contract as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Gander.
Thank you, Mr. Gunner.
The next is consent. The next item is the consent agenda.
Now the regular
Oh,
board minute.
no.
12.2.
Okay, there it goes. Regular meetings, okay, sorry. 12.2, regular board meeting.
Minutes. Madam Chair,
Minutes.
I move that we accept the regular board minute meetings for May 21st, 2026.
I don't see it.
Second.
It's been properly moved in
Madam Chair.
second. It's 12.2. It's right under
It's
Cisco bid.
I guess it's just missing on ours, but I think
Maybe
it goes from
it's
Cisco bid
To the consent agenda.
consent section.
But we're just approving the next set
The-
year's
the minutes
minutes. Okay.
from the last board
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
hit refresh,
Refresh.
if that helps. Or if you go out to the public facing of diligent, it's
Oh, yeah,
there.
I remember.
It's been properly moved in second that we approve the regular board minute meetings from meeting minutes from May 21st. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now we're down to, the next item is the consent agenda. Are there any questions or requests to pull items for separate consideration?
I have one, just to clarify. I think it's in here. Now, where did I see the painting of the academy? Is that under our consent?
In the business office items, I think there's three.
I saw we were voting on it tonight, but when I was out that way, is it already been done and we're voting? Because I saw the building is primed up on one side is white and the other side is red.
If it has been started, I'm not aware of it.
Okay, because I was like, why build it? You know, my friend's church is across the street. It's just, the gym area is just totally white, like it's primed. Then, you know, it's still red. And there's like paper
You mean the
wrapped
red-
around the cameras and
Still
stuff. I
the
saw
red
it today.
brick?
Huh?
The red brick? you mean?
Yes,
Okay.
the outside. It's
Yeah,
all.
I'm not aware, that's news to me. Yeah.
I'll show you. I just took, because it looked weird. I'm like, well, we got red and white building.
So is there any items to be pulled? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I move we can approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved in second that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Consent agenda, and so we should be down to executive closed session. Executive closed session per North Florida School District Policy 1.14A stating that private or closed discussions by the board may occur as part of a regular or special board meeting. Executive sessions may be held only for the purpose of considering employment, appointments, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of an employee, or to discuss matters of pupil punishment if requested by the parent or legal guardian. No resolution, agreement, or motion considered in the executive session shall be legally binding unless the board reconvenes in public session and presents the item for vote of the membership. Finally, Arkansas Code Title 25, Chapter 19, Section 106(2)(c)(1) states, the specific purpose of the executive session shall be announced in public before going into executive session. Please join me in the executive closed session for discussing the following matters: employment, appointments, promotions, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of an employee. We are back in session. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that we accept the hiring per the superintendent, employment of personnel presented by the superintendent.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second that we approve the employment of personnel, being that it is employment of personnel. There can be no discussion, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Are there any acknowledgements? I just want to remind everyone, because I was already asked about the meetings, that the 4th of July is next week. And normally we have our workshop on the first Thursday and our regular meeting on the third Thursday. But because the 4th of July is next week, we moved it back a week. So the next meeting will be on the 9th. Just wanted to bring that, and hoping that anybody that's off for the summer, that you're enjoying yourself, and those that are not off for the summer, that you find time to enjoy yourself. Anyone else?
Just want to wish everybody a wonderful 250 anniversary of our nation, and have a great summer. And thank you all.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
move that we adjourn our June 25th, 2026 board meeting for North Little Rock School District.
I second that.
It has been properly moved in second that we adjourn. Is there any discussion about it? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed?